Welcome to MotoMouths, the podcast for MotoGP, motorsports, and more. And I'm going to be so honest, I don't have anything prepared here because it's been a long week and it's Monday.
Yeah, it's been a long week, and I feel like last week just never stopped. Is that maybe how we're feeling?
That's the thing, that's how weeks always get you, is that they just bleed right into the other.
Yeah. Can't say I'm looking forward to getting older because I think that's how it keeps going forever.
Well, until you die.
Okay. Anyways.
So, speaking of Marc Marquez,
God.
speaking of aging.
Speaking of Memento Mori and all that.
Yeah. The Ouroboros.
Okay. So just, if you're listening, just now I'm checking in with Zoe pretty constantly.
I gotta go see Pecco's
We're
therapist.
just making sure things are okay. Honestly, Pecco needs to go see Pecco's therapist. You know, Pecco, like, publicly many times has said he refuses to get a sports psychologist.
Of course he does.
Like, right. That is something he would say.
Yeah, that doesn't shock me in the slightest.
We have a lot to talk about today, just in general.
We have truly so much to talk about.
I think we should just jump right into the biggest news of the weekend, which is that Marc Marquez continued his trend of never finishing a GP on Sunday in Mandalika.
This was so funny, but in a horrible way. Like, it's like everyone has their Achilles heel, and it's nice to know that Marc Marquez, the GOAT, has an Achilles heel.
You can make the argument he has like 4, and 3 of them are of his own making.
Okay,
and
interesting.
The last one is Mandalika.
Okay.
Like, he just is bad here. He always is.
Yeah.
You know how we talked about earlier this year that he's never competitive at Barcelona, but he's ended up on the podium like most times he's raced there?
Yeah, it's like his not competitive is everybody's competitive.
Right. Mandalika is his, I'm ass here.
Yeah, he truly is not competitive here.
Right. And I think, there's a lot of factors for him this weekend, which I do want to touch on. But one of which is, 6-day hangover. What are you going to do?
I've had them.
The Ducatis were just bad here.
Yeah.
They were just bad here. Okay, so clarifying point is that Mandalika has no grip in general.
Okay.
Greasiest track ever. Insanely high temperatures.
Humidity will make you extremely greasy.
Right. That is how it works. And it rains there all the time because they're like a tiny little island in Indonesia, in a part of the world where it rains at the drop of a hat. Like, it just does. So when you put all of these things together, it's like, well, you can't go out on a soft for any meaningful amount of time because that'll just get baked. You can't go on the regular hard because that doesn't have any grip and you're just going to be slipping and sliding over the track the whole time. So what they do is Michelin brings like a very specific new, what they call, and it makes me laugh every time, they call it a hard carcass tire.
God, this sport
I know.
This is the most unserious sport in the history of sport.
Yes.
Oh, this is our exoskeleton tire.
Right. I think like they mean it's a hard casing. Like, there's an extra kind of layer on the outside of the tire that is meant to kind of help with these problems.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, a lot of people have been calling it a carcass. I don't understand why. It's just funny. But this tire is really funky. It just like upends everything. People don't feel good on it. And you kind of get a weekend like this one where the grid is essentially like reversed. The Ducatis don't do well on that.
Chaotic.
Yeah, it was a weird weekend, just like from the jump. For Marc in particular, on Saturday, he qualified P9. So this is like his worst qualifying all year, which is crazy.
Was in Q1 for the first time all year?
Yes, exactly. Yes. Like, crazy stat. And then he committed some crimes on Saturday. So he was like back in business, had to serve a long lap penalty, which was, I don't think he's had to do that once this year. On Alex Rins, which like that was kind of funny because it's like 2 of the oldest people on the grid, 2 of the most injured people on the grid. Like, Marc doesn't have a working arm. Alex doesn't have a working leg.
It was senior citizen on senior citizen crime.
Yeah, it was elder on elder abuse.
Yeah.
They apparently were laughing about it because they were just like, yeah, this is how it goes.
Mhm,
And I
mhm.
was like, okay, ancient men, been around the block a time or two.
They're hanging out at the retirement home, just chatting over some banana pudding,
And
yucking
they
it
are
up.
cutthroat over bananagrams.
Oh, yeah. A Mancala board is getting flipped.
Yeah, and like they're going to try to flip the table and dislocate their shoulder.
Yeah.
I see the future here.
Mancala is not old enough. Backgammon.
Oh, you're so right. You're
Mhm.
so right. Do they play backgammon in Europe? Question for a different day.
Get in the comments.
Let us know. On Sunday, Mark went from being the criminal to being a victim of
Mhm.
circumstance. Bez was just kind of stupid. I don't know if you saw this.
I did.
Well, it's horrifying, scary.
It was not good.
No, I was watching the race not live, and I had to get up and walk away, and I couldn't watch it for another couple of hours. Like, it was really scary.
Yeah.
Bez, for someone who was so fast the whole
Mhm.
weekend, just
Mhm.
had such a stupid weekend. He shit the bed on both of his starts,
Mhm.
like an idiot.
Humidity got to him.
Well, they said on Sunday they fixed whatever the issue was.
What issue?
They said it was some kind of like crankshaft issue. I don't know.
Yeah, he cranked a shaft.
Thank you so much for picking that up.
He had the female hysteria treatment.
He cranked his shaft till he false started.
I hate this sport.
He cranked his shaft till he had a poor getaway. I don't know.
No, false start. False start.
No, he had the opposite of a false start. He started
Oh,
late.
he had a jump start.
No, the
Oh.
opposite.
He
False
couldn't
start,
get it
jump
up.
start, the same thing, babe.
He couldn't get it up. Anyways,
So he panicked on Sunday after his second failure to launch. And then the Aprilia was just so fucking fast. And I think he got stuck in behind Mark on something. Mark was doing what he needed to do, going around a corner, setting up his line right. I think Bez just underestimated how fast he was going and overestimated how much he could brake safely and make the corner. So he just knocked himself into the back of Mark's bike. Mark went sliding. Bez kind of went like juddering out. And then there was this weird, they were talking about it later. There's this weird lip of where the asphalt stops and the gravel trap started, where the gravel trap was filled in more. So it was taller than the asphalt.
sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah, because that's what Mark slammed his shoulder into and then went spinning. And that's what Bez's bike hit, and Bez went over the top of it.
It was a really scary crash.
So
like, ha ha he he. It was a terrifying
they both
crash.
were just laying down.
Yeah, it was
It was terrifying. But we have an update now, like Monday morning. Mark suffered a fracture at the base of, I don't know, some part of his shoulder. And he has a ligament injury on the same right shoulder. They ruled out any connection with previous injuries because his right arm is the one that like doesn't
It's
fucking
the bad
work.
arm.
So everyone was very concerned. He doesn't need surgery. And then right now he is planning on missing Phillip Island and Australia and Sepang.
What about the championship?
I mean, he's fine.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh man, like Mark and Pecco weirdly had similar like 2 weekends in a row. They both had great weekends last weekend for various meanings of great. And then they both were just so bad this weekend. I want to say one more thing about Mark's injury update.
Yeah.
They made a specific comment in the update from Ducati about the hospital he went to in Madrid and his medical team led by Dr. Samuel Antuña and Dr. Ignacio Rojer de Oña. Horrible accent. So sorry. Xavier Mir, nowhere to be found.
Downfall of Xavier Mir.
If he has any haters, I'm one.
Yeah, this is an anti-Xavier Mir podcast.
But I thought that was interesting. It felt very much like, you know, when the president goes to the hospital for something and they're like, here's his entire staff of people who worked on him because we have to disclose this information.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah. How was George Washington Hospital, Mr. Marquez?
Yeah, tell me about the trauma center at GW. Inquiring minds want to know. USA Today is hitting up my phone line. That was such a deep cut for USA Today. Jesus Christ. Couldn't even say MSNBC.
No.
CNN.
I've got Anderson Cooper in my DMs.
Don Lemon is calling. Katie Couric, knocking my door down.
We're dumb.
I want to say there's something else too, because Mark like went home in his sling and he like posted an injured thirst trap.
Loves to do a little point to his injury.
Listen, I feel like maybe we didn't jinx it because it's
We jinxed
Indonesia
it.
and he sucks here.
We fully jinxed it.
But we were talking about how he should go home with like a little injury that he can point at.
You specifically, I said, yeah, go balls to the wall, but don't get injured. And you're like, no, maybe he can have a little injury as a treat. He loves a little injury.
Yeah, but I meant like one with like 2 stitches.
This is squarely on your shoulders. How does it feel?
At least he doesn't have to have surgery. Like,
Yeah.
I'll take that. Can we talk about Pecco?
Last week we were Peck overshadowed. This week we're Peck over, period.
But like, are we?
But like, here's the thing. How did the other 2024 bikes do at Mandalika?
Okay, so there's so much going on in the saga of the GP 24, 25, the Frankenbike, like whatever we want to call it.
The Frankybike.
Oh my God, you're so right. Frankie's bike, that Pecco rode in Misano.
Frankenbike, Frankybike, Imotegi.
It's right there.
It's right there.
So there was drama before the weekend really kicked off because Uccio Salucci, who is the like one of the managers of the VR46 team.
Italians, no rights for Uccio Salucci.
I mean, his name isn't Uccio. That's the nickname.
Oh, okay. Thank God. Okay.
Also, context. Uccio is Valentino's like blood brother, best friend,
Yeah.
like soul tied cats kind of vibe.
Uccio Salucci.
Salucci. I mean, yeah, he's Valentino's like right-hand man. I think less so now than it used to be, but if Uccio says something, it is pretty much coming from like the word of God himself. Uccio now runs the VR46 team. He is very involved in the academy. He's very involved in the whole process. He also works very closely with Ducati. Uccio, sometime on Friday, told MotoGP TV coverage on camera, yeah, we gave Ducati one of Frankie's GP24s to Pecco to ride in the Misano test. And everyone was like, okay, sick, confirmed. So he definitely rode that bike in Motegi.
I've been working on this story for a year and he just tweeted it out.
Right. And you could see on his face where he like heard himself say it and then was like, oh, fuck, I shouldn't have said that. And then later on in the weekend, there's like a quote card of him saying it. And he's like, they have video of him leaning in and reading the quote card and being like, where did that come from?
Who said that?
And then Davide got involved.
Oh, God.
And Davide was saying some crazy shit to like Jack Appleyard and like just the press in general. Like someone like out there talks too much and like they don't know what they're talking about. And it's like, oh my God. But it's like, Davide, we all now think this is true because you just lost your fucking mind.
Right. When you have that reaction to it, it just kind of cements
What
it
are we
further.
supposed to think?
Right.
So that's all happening. Ducati continues to not say anything about what is going on with the bike. They say nothing at all. Pecco proceeds to have what feels insane to say, but is actually his worst weekend of the year. We've said that now 7 times.
This is like, that's the thing that's so crazy is that like he's had so many bad weekends and yet
They keep coming.
the years start coming and they don't stop coming.
And it's back to whatever and we hit the ground running. Like crazy.
Crazy.
His very horrible, no good, awful weekend. I think he qualified somewhere around like P16, finished last in the sprint. And also, by the way, there were like 3 people who withdrew from the weekend in the first place.
Yeah. So it's like
Extra
even
bad.
worse.
Right. He crashed out of last place on Sunday.
He went to the Fernando Alonso school of doing that.
I mean, great academy. And then I think on Saturday, so Mark had a long lap penalty on Saturday. When Mark did his long lap was still faster than Pecco's fastest lap on Saturday.
That's a fucking insane sentence.
Isn't that crazy?
That's an insane sentence.
So yeah, really, really bad weekend. He is like basically talking to the press and he's like, I don't know what to tell you. Like I don't have anything to say. I'm telling you what they're telling me to say, which is that shit.
He said, gentlemen,
Cry for help.
no longer.
If you just look despondent, So then what I thought was really interesting is Matt Oxley put out a story today that was so stupidly cloak and dagger on behalf of the Ducati camp, where Matt Oxley and what he described as like 2 or 3 other big name MotoGP journalists were asked to like come into a room with Gigi Dall'Igna, Davide, and like one of the other huge engineers on the team. And apparently they had a conversation about like what is actually going on with Pecco. And Matt in his story is saying, yeah, like none of it's on the record to the extent that I can't quote anybody, but this is what's going on. And I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing here?
It's not the fucking Navy.
No, like it's also not the fucking Pentagon.
This isn't classified information.
This is a motorbike.
Like, this is a sad Italian man and his sad Italian motorbike. We don't need to submit
an FOI to try and get any sort of answers.
FOI for non-Americans is a freedom of inquiry document. In America, you can request that the government release any document through a FOIA request, and they may or may not grant it to you. Usually they do, unless it's like super top secret.
Yeah.
In my past life as a journalist, we used to have FOIA fests where you would just submit a whole shit ton of FOIA requests.
Have a beer, submit some. It's great.
No, quite literally.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I want to hang out and do that. So Matt Oxley has this story, right? The optics of the story, I think, are objectively bad for Ducati. Like, it's very weird. They won't let him quote them. He just has to be like, I promise this happened.
Matt Oxley, the MotoGP fourth estate.
Like, deep throat of Ducati right now. Jesus Christ.
Pecco Gate.
Pecco Gate. Everybody has assumed the whole time that the engine is the issue because there was early testing for the 2025 season where they were testing various combinations of the 2024-25 chassis and the 24-25 engines. And they ultimately settled on the GP25 version of the engine and then something really close to the 24 chassis, but not the exact thing. So from all of that, we all kind of were like, oh, so there has to be something with the engine. Pecco said something early on in the season that the 25 engine is so different that it can't be put into the 24 chassis, which then seemed to prove this idea that the engine is the issue. Marc multiple times said that that wasn't true, but Marc wasn't having issues. So like there was just so much information flying around. Matt Oxley, his story says that the whole shot device is the issue. And this is the device that lowers the back of the bike.
Now, this is interesting because famously, Marc has had issues with the whole shot device this season.
Oh, everybody has. It's a horrible thing and should never have been brought to the sport. And guess who brought it? Gigi Dall'Igna.
Oh, Ducati? Oh, well, okay, there you go.
They like poached someone from Mercedes F1 and brought Aero to MotoGP. Like crazy people. So Matt's saying that the whole shot device is the issue. And apparently in Motegi, they put a 2024 version of the whole shot device onto Pecco's bike. And that was a huge part of why he was so successful. We also have to remember he used his big, beautiful brake disc in Motegi.
Big, beautiful brake disc.
Before.
He loves his big, beautiful brake disc.
Like the story is really interesting. And I highly recommend you go read it because I like Matt's voice too when he writes. But there's no definitiveness to it. There is no guarantee that they've ironed anything out. There is no sort of like, we fully understand the problem. No quotes, like nothing that you can point to about like, this is Ducati's perspective and path forward. It's just this kind of drop in the ocean of like, they say it's actually the whole shot, but I can't quote them on it.
It's hearsay. It's hearsay and a whole lot of speculation, and it will not hold up in court.
It's such a weird situation. I mean, it's a bad look for them. And it's fucking annoying. And everyone's annoyed.
For me, it's the will they, won't they. Like, either talk or don't talk. Don't do this half-ass pussyfooting around Matt Oxley.
No, 100%. It's this weird smoke and mirrors bullshit where it's like, just say something. Truly just get in front of a camera and say something.
Or don't. But don't do the middle bit.
But don't hasn't been working because it's such a small ecosystem that everyone's picking these things apart. Like they tried to keep the whole Frankybike secret, but then all Pecco could talk about was like, oh, we learned all this stuff for the Misano test, and then he went to Motegi and fucking lit the world on fire. And now you've got every other person on a Ducati saying, well, what did you do? We need to do that.
Right.
Which is within their rights contractually. So it was always going to get out. And now you look like an idiot.
Yeah. It's annoying.
It's just dumb.
It's silly. It's goosery at the core.
Goosery is such a good word for it. And the most goosey fact, is that Pecco is rolling over for this. He is a 3-time title holder. No one else who has a title is letting that happen. Joan Mir is every weekend taking Honda to task in the press. Fabio Quartararo, constantly threatening to leave. Pedro Acosta has titles from the lower classes, and he is still actively threatening to leave KTM at the drop of a hat. Like, it's crazy. Jorge Martinez more balls than Pecco does, and he's fucking in the hospital.
Yeah, he's getting neutered.
It's crazy. In the barometric chamber.
Fish pod.
Yeah, we just don't know. We just don't know. For the 8 millionth time.
I don't want to go anywhere near it. It's annoying me.
It's annoying. I want to mention the Sunday podium really quickly. Fermin Aldeguer is now the second youngest MotoGP winner in history.
This was so much fun.
It was so cute. Do you see that picture of Alex holding his face in Parc Fermé?
I love when people win their first races because it is just like, oh, good things do exist in this world and I am capable of feeling joy.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's just lovely.
It is lovely. And he's worked so hard this season. He's had a really good, solid little rookie season.
Yeah, rookie of the year. Duh. I mean, we love Ayagura, but unfortunately it is Fermin. He's had such I think a steady upwards trajectory that's very linear. It hasn't been up and down like crazy.
And what's crazy too is that his teammate is second in the world championship and has been having the best season of his career. And he's been really holding his own.
100%. He's really fucking fast. And he's really great at rear tire management, which is a huge fucking deal at this track. He's been working on his qualifying for the last couple of months, and it has worked out, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't know, funnily enough, ever since they became a satellite team for Ducati, Gresini has had a GP win with every single rider that they've had.
That's really interesting.
Enea Bastianini, Fabio Di Gianantonio, Alex Marquez, Marc Marquez, and now Fermin.
That's crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
I like Gresini. I'll say it.
They told Nadia to sell the team. Everybody laughed at her.
A joke.
Because Fausto Gresini died during COVID, and everyone told her to sell the team because she couldn't lead it. And now look at them.
I hate men.
No, I do.
Nadia, I'll kill them for you.
Exactly. Pedro Acosta was also on the podium. I know he was twisted up inside that Fermin won a GP before he did.
For those who forget, Fermin and Pedro have
beefed the fuck up. If you look at a podium photo, it's Alex and Fermin are delirious with joy, and Pedro Acosta is there with his massive sunnies, just stone cold. Alex P3, proud of my baby. He's doing what he needs to do.
Good boy.
Couple other notes from the weekend. Justice for Luca Marini. Luca Marini and Raul Fernandez got into what one might call a spat because Raul Fernandez was being a little stupid.
All right.
And then he called Luca Marini not intelligent.
Which is come on. First of all, he's got the hottest wife on planet Earth. So clearly he has something going for him.
Luca also, I say this all the time, Luca is learning Japanese and reportedly is good at it.
Pop off, anime king.
He does not need to be doing all that. Raul Fernandez isn't even racing in MotoGP next year, so I don't know what the fuck he thought he was doing, going after noted, educated gentleman Luca Marini, who kind of was yeah, I don't have time for this.
He's too employed.
He's too employed and busy and also a dad.
Yeah.
Bez will most likely be getting a penalty for crashing into Marc.
His crimes against humanity.
Yes. Accidental ones even, they still count. And then we have a Moto3 champion year.
Yes.
We do.
I mean, we have one every year.
Yeah, but we've got our this year one already picked out.
Yeah, exactly.
Brought him home from the store and everything.
A little puppy.
His name's Rueda. He is apparently on track to maybe match David Alonso's dominant season in MotoGP last year.
Crazy.
So very exciting. Moto2 is crazy. Manu Gonzalez, I think, had a really fucking horrible weekend. So it sounds like that is going to go down to the wire towards the end of the season. So I'll be watching. And then that's kind of it. Those are like the big stories.
We'll make our predictions for Phillip Island next week. I think that brings us to the great wide world of motorsports.
It sure does.
This weekend, I think, was just so chaotic and not chaotic. Chaotic, but boring.
Yeah, it was like boring in a way that made me want to tear my hair out because how stupid it was.
Yeah. First things first is that Fernando Alonso went first overall in FP1 because his ex-girlfriend released her album.
Right. Yes, that is what happened.
That is fact. That's fact.
I'm not here to argue with anyone on that.
No. And he overall had like a really good weekend, but we will come back to him in a minute because in qualifying is where a lot of this nonsense happened during a flying lap. I don't know if it was his last flying lap. I think it was his last flying lap. Max was impeded by, and I quote, his little friend. And the vibes really got rancid.
Shifted.
There was a shift in the energy, and it was not in a good way.
Well, okay. So take a step back. Max needs to do well.
Yes.
In Singapore.
Yes.
If we're looking at his title fight, he needs to do well.
Yes.
Lando also needs to do well to get on pace with Oscar. Oscar needs to do well to maintain his lead. They're all jockeying for it. And George Russell's also there.
He's there.
Mr. Consistent.
Listen, we'll get to him in a minute.
But just to like give that perspective of like how janky Lando fucking up that last flying lap was, like it was very important in the grand scheme of things. And GP on the radio knows that.
And Max knew that.
Yeah.
It was vindicating in a way to see. I think Max gets too chummy with Lando, who time and time again proves that he is a shitty competitor and shitty friend.
It's like when you have two dogs and one of them is massive and just like very chill.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason likes the tiny, mean, yappy, bitey dog. And you're like, why do you like him?
Yeah.
He hates you.
Yeah. So the other major thing to come out of qualifying was that the Williams did really, really well.
Until they didn't.
Yeah. They were both disqualified.
Right. The rear wing on both of them wasn't like regulation size.
Yeah, that's kind of indefensible.
Well, and there's, I think, footage of James Vowles and someone else from Williams talking to like an FIA official about it. And they all like hug at the end of the meeting. It's very weird.
What I loved about Williams' statement is that not even like an hour before, they posted a Carlos Sainz thirst trap getting into an ice bath and then posted
that was
a team
crazy
statement, which as a social media professional, I think is good. I think that's smart strategy.
Carlos really brought over the Ferrari school of thirst trapping.
Yeah, to distract from the pain.
Yeah, and I think that's valid.
It is valid. This leads me to part 3 of the Williams saga. Leah Block, only Williams driver.
No, put her in the car.
Won the reverse grid race and was the only Williams to actually do anything this weekend. Carlos did have a very good weekend. He had some incredible racing this weekend. However, put Leah in the car.
No, it's funny because I feel like I latched on to Leah when I was watching F1 Academy, like the show. I think like she's exactly who should be coming up in F1 Academy.
I'm really pleased for her too. I'm glad that she got that win. Maya Vug also got another win. The title fight is really heating up F1 Academy.
No, Dorian Pin was pissed.
Yes, she's a Spitfire.
She was mad on the podium. Honestly, she kind of scares me.
She's an ankle biter.
I think she would actually chew someone's leg off if it got her where she needed to be. And I mean that is a compliment.
So that brings us to the most miserable part of the weekend, which is that McLaren is so dedicated to making this the most miserable season of all time.
It's so crazy how their papaya rules bullshit has completely eclipsed like what it is to go racing. It's now not a championship. It's just like what is next in the like dramatic saga of papaya rules.
I'm going to be so for real. These papaya rules are like what Swifties think Easter eggs are when they're not. It's just like discombobulated bullshit.
Okay, so lap 1, Lando gets extra aggressive, hits Max, by the way. And then in course of avoiding Max after he's hit him, he then runs into Oscar and kind of runs Oscar a little wide and takes Oscar's place, which like, okay, on track aggression, whatever.
Fine.
Right. Oscar then goes on to say, hey, what the fuck was that? That's not fair. I thought we talked about this.
This is my read of the situation. I will give Lando his points for having some sort of a spine and actually doing something on track. Because I think papaya rules in any way, shape, or form are bullshit.
I agree.
But
he's not good at it, though. That's the thing.
He's not good at it, and he's taking people out with him. And then we get to the pits, and they fuck up Oscar's pit stop. I thought that was a switchable thing. I thought they would switch. I thought that's what papaya rules were.
What's crazy to me about papaya rules is that none of it's clear. And they tell us all the time, like, oh, we talk about scenarios, like we talk about like, if this happens, then we do this. And so it's very clear to me that they have some sort of idea of like, this seems like a scenario that is very simple to outline what the papaya rules next step is. And I think that's why Oscar was so pissy on the radio, because I think they were like, this is what this is supposed to do. If one of you hit each other and take one of the other's position on lap one, we'll give that back. I think that's why he was so mad. We don't know that because no one has ever put papaya rules like on paper anywhere that we can see it. It's fucking bullshit. It's an invented thing. It's the stock market. I hate it. But like, I think it's very interesting for Oscar to be viewed through this lens of being like a whiny racer who isn't okay with aggressive but fair moves, when I don't think that's at all what it is. Because to your point, like, you're right. Like, everything we've seen from papaya rules in the past, he seems to be quote unquote abiding by in this situation.
He's frustrated with the double standard. When it's benefiting Lando, everything flies. And when it benefits Oscar, it doesn't happen.
And it's like, I hate their argument about like, well, we have to win the constructors. And it's like,
the constructors,
no one else is going to win the constructors.
The constructors was won 4 races into the season. Like, it makes me so fucking viscerally angry. I hate it so much.
That was won minimum 8 races ago. I just think it's dumb. And I think like Oscar is fair to be angry. But this
also,
is what we've been saying for months now of like, get the fuck up.
Get up, put your big boy pants on, have some courage of conviction.
They celebrated the constructors without the guy on their team who is most likely going to win the title. For a guy who came in P3.
Yeah.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
Like, we can keep saying it's crazy, like, week in and week out. It's a bastardization of the sport. And it gets me furious. F1 has never been more popular. And I see people posting TikToks and reels and being like, oh, this race was really boring. This race was really boring. This race was really boring. F1 used to be good.
Yeah.
F1 used to be exciting.
Even in 2023, which a lot of people like rag on for being like the Max season, everything behind Max was really interesting in 2023.
Right. And even with Max, it was an interesting case of like, how far can he go? And how low can Checo sink?
There was a lot going on in 23.
There was a lot going on in 23. And what's so infuriating to me is like, I just want to shake people and be like, this shit sucks. You don't deserve this as a fan. You don't deserve to witness a fixed championship at the hands of some... I'm not going to say what I was going to say because it was very mean and inappropriate.
Yeah, but like, it's hard because like, I love F1, but I'm like, this isn't a real, they're not serious people anymore.
You are not serious people.
Exactly. Logan Roy, you are not serious people.
If you're going to fix something, do it with a little bit of flair like Flavio Briatore.
Oh my God, yeah, like at least be like sexy and camp and like James Bond villainous about it, not fucking single dad Andrea Stella and his weird, creepy friend, Zach Brown.
If you're gonna favor one of them, just fucking like, that's the thing that really pisses me off. Just own up to
they
that.
They don't have a number one
favor.
driver, except that they
you.
do.
Like, that's the thing. It's
so obnoxious.
Just Flavio Briatore would give the world to this day for Fernando Alonso. He is the team principal or whatever the fuck, I don't even know, of Alpine, and he's right for it. But he would give everything. If Fernando Alonso was about to win the championship and fucking Lando Norris was in the way, there's going to be a horse's head in Lando Norris's bed.
No, he's going to like beam one into the cockpit.
Yeah, like while being in charge of Alpine. Have some have balls.
Have some dignity for like the love of the like fixing the game.
Exactly.
Like, at least do it fun.
Don't be like, well, we love Oscar and Lando equally. No.
It's this weird, like, puritanism.
It's so Puritan. It's
And it's
so
like,
Puritan.
what are we doing?
It's so waspy. It's so...
Zach Brown is really, like, city on a hilling McLaren right now.
Okay.
No, I want to talk about the pit stops really quick because I know we were kind of jumping all over the place. That was fucking crazy.
Like,
that was crazy.
It's so laughable.
Also, everybody was ass at pit stops this weekend. Did you
This
notice
whole
that?
weekend was ass. Everything gets slippery in the heat, and they're all like dropping shit.
And a Williams engineer is watching football. That's a real thing that happened. He was watching football on his phone in the pit lane.
I can't even say anything because that would be me.
Oh, yeah. Can we talk about actually Fernando Alonso and Lewis really quick?
This is what I wanted to talk about, too. Speaking of Fernando Alonso, first of all, Peapod was getting feisty.
Peapod was on one all weekend. Good for him. The heat did great things for his joints.
So true. So true.
Do you think, sorry.
Yeah, go
Do you
ahead.
think he's ever going to get gout like a medieval monarch?
I'm sure he already has gout.
I was hoping you were going to say that. I think it's so funny when men have gout. It's like when people get scurvy in the modern age. And I'm like, so you realize that you can get orange juice for $2?
So here's the thing about Fernando Alonso. First of all, he tells Aston Martin to shut the fuck up.
As he should.
As he should. As is his right.
Mhm.
Secondly, he has incredible on-track battles with Lewis Hamilton. So I hear.
Didn't see it.
Didn't see it.
You know what I did see?
What did you see?
About 5 minutes of Carlos Sainz's admittedly very beautiful girlfriend in the Williams garage.
She's so hot.
She's lovely. By all accounts, a wonderful person to spend time with. I kind of don't need to see her during a race. I think I'm okay.
So apparently, Fernando Alonso had a great on-track battle with Lewis Hamilton that earned him driver of the day. And we saw about 0.0 seconds of it from F1 TV. Race direction was off picking daisies.
They were having enough of a fight that today on Instagram, Lewis Hamilton crashed the fuck out on his Instagram stories and was posting videos of people saying, I can't believe it, which is what Fernando was saying. And then he goes, 18 years of this.
Like, that's the thing. That's the thing. They have generational beef.
And I think they let a lot of it go sometimes because they are like ancient men surrounded by infants and they have to have some solidarity where it counts.
Right.
But then they experience insane head loss on track and you're like, holy shit, we don't do beef like we used to.
All of a sudden, it's 2007. They're both bald. And Fernando Alonso is searching for dirt to ruin Lewis Hamilton's life.
Yeah.
And all is right in the world. But you know what? Like, thank you, Fernando. I'm sure Lewis actually really needed this weekend. Like, he needed to take his mind off of everything and, like, get generational.
I agree with Fernando. If you're racing without brakes, that's a serious problem.
I agree.
Crazy. The lift and coast that was happening with Ferrari. Also, did you see what they kind of publicly admitted about their sim data?
No, what?
So apparently the engineering team, they've been relying on a lot of different like algorithms and like data sets that you kind of feed information into to build the car. I'm not a car engineer. You can tell that when you hear me talk. But it's these huge like data models and they input all of these like things. And then the data models spit back out like the kind of car and like what you need to do to like build a car that's going to work best within these parameters. And then they run with that. This is a very condensed and dumbified version of how that works. They just apparently kind of publicly admitted that they never checked the math that they were putting into the model. So the model was giving them, I guess, like results based on physics that doesn't work
in this universe.
Like tracks that don't exist. Like the car has been bad this year because no one checked their math and no one checked it until now.
This is something I learned having a genius computer scientist brother. The more advanced you are at math, the worse you are at like numbers and counting and basic math. Those Ferrari engineers cannot subtract, multiply, or divide.
I believe you. And apparently they don't have a fucking project manager.
Oh my God, that's the most sinful thing in the world.
But isn't it crazy they've been operating on data this whole season that's not fucking real?
I would commit arson. I would burn Maranello to the ground.
Yeah, if I were Lewis, the least of my problems would be me crashing out on Instagram stories.
Truly.
Also, I want to say, good job, George Russell.
Yeah. Well, we didn't even look at our predictions.
We just got incensed.
Yeah. Let's go back and look at our predictions quickly. You said Max P1, George Russell P2, Oscar P3, Fail King, Lando Norris.
So, I was close.
Yeah. I said Carlos Sainz P1, Max Verstappen P2, which I got correct, Oscar Piastri P3, Fail King, Fernando Alonso. I reverse cursed him. You're welcome, buddy.
Not our best, but not our worst.
Accurate. So we do have a week off. So we'll be back next week with our Coda predictions.
Oh my God, Coda.
We love Coda. We stand Coda in this house. That brings us to the grid as ... which for the uninitiated is a moment in our podcast where we categorize a handful of riders and drivers from across the great wide world of motorsport as a person, thing, place, concept, idea. And I thought in honor of Taylor Swift's new album, we could do the grid as The Life of a Showgirl tracks.
Sounds good.
It must be said, I really like the album. Zoe does not. It's okay. We're working through it.
I mean, I don't know what there's to work through.
My acceptance of the fact that you don't like it.
How about my acceptance of the fact that you do?
Anyways, would you like to go first?
Yes, I would love to go first. Okay, so in Opalite, there's this line about her mom saying she's dancing through lightning or whatever.
Yeah.
That is Marc Marquez.
Yeah.
Because somehow he's still fucking here.
Yeah.
I don't know how. And then kind of a dark horse choice, but Nadia Padovani, who is the team principal for Rosini, is father figure.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Also, Nadia, I'm so sorry. I love you.
Her dick is bigger.
I love you. Please don't take that to heart.
Mine's a twofer. Max Verstappen and Fernando Alonso are canceled.
It's kind of funny because Max, totally agree, see what you mean. But we talked about it. The people want a Max championship.
Yeah.
He is not thought of the same way he was last year or even 2 years ago. It is.
George Russell wants a Max championship.
George was being an asshole.
Yeah. Speaking of George, I do think that he is eldest daughter.
Yeah, I think my least favorite thing about Eldest Daughter is that it turns into a song about how she'll never leave Travis. And that is how I feel about George and Mercedes. I think we nailed it.
Anyways, that brings us to the end of the podcast. Make sure to share, rate, review, subscribe, engage with, comment on any and all forms of engagement on our podcast or the episode. It helps us grow. We really appreciate it. We love and cherish each comment. Come hang out with us on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, YouTube. We have a great time, and let's keep chatting soon.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.